got to work on that. It went over 5,000 or whatever characters. Yeah, I need to change that. Because we're just doing a little bit of wordsmithing now on I added my org recruitment message. Let me see now if this is short enough to not error out. Let me try this again. There you go. Much better. Much better. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. This is Ed Wired, your buddy. I'm going to go grab my cup of coffee off the coffee machine and we'll get started playing some Star Citizen this morning. Love my first cup of coffee in the morning. It was cold here. Still is sort of cold, so the heat's been running a lot. So I may talk a little bit less today for the health of my throat. So before I went to bed last night at midnight, I did a little bit of off-stream mining in my prospector and brought the results back to the refinery. We're over at HURL2. So I'm going to run down and check on those jobs real quick. I had a problem with the elevators. I would land my ship and then I couldn't get back into the elevator to come up from the pad. So a couple times I had to use the hold down the backspace key, respawn inside, and then go. Now my jobs, I've used the cheapest, highest yield, longest time on. So they were like 20 hours last night. So I want to get an updated check on them. And then I'll make a note of when they'll be done. But yeah, off stream I used a Cutlass Black to haul some of the work down to Lorville and sell it. And then I took my Prospector out and made the 3 trips to the asteroid belt. Well, actually 2 to the asteroid belt and 1 was right by the station. Because it was getting late and I wanted to do it as quick as I could.
Hi, good to have you back.
Okay, 11, 12, 10. So let's put in
Finding everything all right?
10 and 13 hours from now. Okay, so let me go over to here and put in jobs. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock in the morning, East Coast time. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1,
Finding
2,
everything all right?
3, 4, 5, 6 from 6 to 9 p.m. 6 to 9 p.m. Okay, so they'll be done from 6 to 9 p.m. Sunday. Very good. So that's when our jobs
Hey,
will be
back
done.
again, I see.
It was a fellow refiner. One of my fellow refiners. I said in a previous stream, I want to make sure I don't have anything refining or ships with cargo still at the time a patch hits. But they don't usually patch on Sundays or Mondays. The patch is still in Evocati. So I think we've got time to go do more mining today and more refining. Mining and refining. Mining and refining. Now, one of the things that I recently did was I bought some guns. Don't laugh. Don't laugh, but I think I want to put some better guns on my Prospector. That's the size of one shield. Okay, here we go. Weaponry. It's got a S1 gimbal mount and a DJ1 repeater. Let's put the attrition on there. Or we could go with an attrition and a scatter gun. We'll do that. We'll put one of each on there. We'll put an attrition and a scatter gun. There we go. I don't think I have a special paint job for this, no. Alright, very good. Now let's go get our prospector. Go do some mining. I don't think I've ever I don't think I've ever shot anything with my prospector. I have been blown up. I have run away from people. I don't think I've ever shot anything with my prospector. No, not hangar 4. Pad 4. Oh, goodness gracious, Ed. You're screwing up already. So my friend that's going to join my organization and join me in Star Citizen, I just checked the notebook that we ordered to play Star Citizen on. They changed the status from order received to gathering parts to build it. So with any luck, the second week of February, I will have a friend of mine, Pad 4. I'll have a friend of mine online in Star Citizen in my org playing cooperatively with me. If you're interested in maybe doing the same, check out my organization, the Pareto Partnership, Pareto. You can search for it. I asked him if he thought mornings or daytime or evenings would be better, and he said, well, daytime's pretty covered up with work for him, but that he would find time. So I don't know if I'm still going to play in the morning or not. Usually what I do is I play in the morning like now, and then I walk up. You hear that noise? I was choking because I didn't have my helmet on. and I walked outside into the vacuum space without my helmet on. Any minute now, my helmet should show up. Okay, now I have a helmet on, but you notice my health is low. It says if you have a med pen, press C to use it. Well, do we have med pens? If we look in our dude's outfit, medical consumable. Let's add one. Let's add one. We also could have stabbed ourselves with an oxygen pen when we were choking there too. And now we're gonna stab ourselves with the med pen. Well, let us do this and there we go. Stabbed ourselves with the med pen. Now our health is should be much better, but we need to replace that med pen that we just used. That was a consumable. So we'll add that. Boom. There we go. If you're ever in a store that has med pens, always buy a couple because you're going to go through them. Don't forget to make sure you have your helmet on before you go outside. I'm sure I had one on, but this is, game's going to be alpha's going to alpha. And equip your med pens, because if you've got them in your suit, you can hit them with the key. If you don't have them in your suit, it just kind of stands there. Well, if you're shot and you're bleeding out, you probably don't have time to go into the menu and add them to your suit. So don't do as I did. Do as I'm saying.
You are clear to launch.
Alrighty, let me get my joysticks up here. We'll take off and go mining. I prefer to use dual joysticks, but plenty of people play this game with keyboards.
Thank you, and please visit again.
Okay, let's set our marker to arc L4. See, we want to stop here in the asteroid belt. So we'll set our marker for there. now we're flying along. And we'll just watch our map and we'll cut our engines when we think we're in the asteroid belt where we can do some mining. Oh, good morning, everybody. I did get some good sleep. And then I woke up. I didn't have an alarm set, but I woke up. Then it's like, oh, I'm going to go back to sleep. And I woke up again before 6. And it's like, oh, let me stay here one more time. And then I did a little nap. And finally, it's like, okay, time to get up. Time to get up. Play some Star Citizen. So those two closely spaced rings are where the asteroids are. They're in between those two. Now I've tried to figure out exactly where to cut my engines off to always end up in asteroids. And I gotta tell you, it's not as predictable. I've been trying for the middle, the beginning. I'm gonna do the end this time. Okay, here we go. I see asteroids. I'll cut my engines back on again. Switch into scanning mode. Do we have any minables? I didn't see any minables. Let's just continue on this way. Okay, there's something 16 kilometers. You have to be careful at this point to not run into the rocks. That are out here. So we're getting closer. Oh, what I've noticed is if you keep it in that center ring, it'll show up on your screen. So I'm slowing down a little bit. It'll show up on your screen with the yellow highlighter around it, but you won't run past it. You won't run into it either. So I think I see the rock. It's not turned yellow yet. There it is. Boom. We just got the hit on that. So we're going to mining mode. Get our laser out. Now you notice I'm not flying directly at it. I'm flying beside it so I don't run into it. Now I'm going to slow down. Put the crosshairs on it so it can scan. This rock is not a good rock. It's 90% inert materials. Now when we break it up, there may be some pieces that are better. So for now, I'm going to at least break it up. I'm not sure if I'm going to mine it. So I'm looking at that scale, that charge level scale. I want to get it up to the green zone. But I don't want to go past it in the red, or this rock can blow up and it can damage me. Which is also why I'm going to put more power to the front shield that's facing the rock. Power's coming up, so I'm going to start backing off to give myself more distance between me and this rock. Moving the laser around can help get it up there. So notice I'm getting close to the green zone. We don't want to get into the danger zone, which is just above that, where the red is. Okay, so you notice I backed off just a little, and it's not getting any higher. So I'm going to come just a little bit closer. Come a little bit closer. And what you're doing is you're looking for the balance. Now I got the laser at 100%. So we've almost found that equilibrium between distance, laser power setting, not going, not climbing up so rapidly we can't control it. So I'm moderating the laser now. To keep it in the green zone. Okay, so there we go. So that had an orange outline around it. Orange means you still need to break it up before you can do more mining. So now we need to scan each one of these pieces. This one is 98% inert and borase. This one, borase, whatever, this is 88% inert materials. Inert's garbage. It fills up your ship, but you don't get any benefit from it. This one is 75% inert. This one's 94. Scan 75. 84%. So this one right here, has got the least amount of inert materials. Now if you memorize what those different things are those different minerals are worth, some are worth more than others, you could figure out which is a more profitable rock to break. What I'm just doing is I'm looking at the percentage of inert, and I'm going to try to break up the rocks that have more stuff in them versus inert, without really looking at what those things are. It's a very simple matter. I need to get better at it, but since I haven't finished my coffee yet, I'm going to take the easy. I'm going to take the easy route. Now you notice this one's got a yellow outline, which means still have to break it up. These that have this blue purplish looking one, that means we can harvest them right now. So that's 75%, 75%, 75% inert. So I'm going to switch to the extraction mode. And my ship has been empty, but you'll notice now my cargo is filling up. So there's kind of a time versus stuff. You can be picky about the rocks that you mine, and by being picky and not filling up your ship with inert stuff, and by mining the stuff that's the most valuable, you can have bring back raw ore that's worth more. Or you could kind of do like I'm doing and not necessarily be the pickiest person. I think I'm going to maybe look for some better rocks. Oh, was that one hiding though? Okay, so that was mostly a turd rock. So people that like get a rock and they go down to a planet and they do some stuff like that, a lot of times they'll scan rocks and they'll pass by rocks. You know, where they're sort of picky about stuff. Those are the same rocks. Let's fly this way and look for rocks. I want to just, be sort of selective, but I want to, make multiple trips back to the refining facility. So I'm kind of like doing the volume mining versus the value mining right now. If that makes any sense. Less discriminating, less particular. I do know that like gold and diamonds, some things in our world that are particularly valuable are sort of down towards the lower end of the scale. And then some of the made up materials in this universe are higher. There's a website I could have pulled up in one of my browser windows, or I could have made a note, or I could just memorize the things that are the most like quantanium and some other stuff that are the most valuable. And I suppose if I do mining long enough, I'll get a feel for that. But I'm pre-coffee still, so. When you can take the prospector down to a planet and you can hover just above the ground and mine. That's possible. I've done it before. You stand the risk of running into the ground. It's also easier to be discovered, I think, by people Most of the time, people that are out here are in warp, and they're just zooming past on their way somewhere. So unless you kill your engines and you fall out of warp here in the asteroid belt, chances of being discovered are pretty slim. Now, that mining I did right by the space station, that was high risk because people come in and out of the space station, so somebody could see you and they go, "Oh, I'm gonna attack this. I'm gonna attack this prospector." Okay, so there we go. The rock is showing up. Break this one up and see if there's any good pieces. My ship's about a little bit less than half full of raw ore. So I've got my laser at 100. I'm watching it. I'm gonna back up a little bit from the rock instead of throttling down the laser. Give me a little bit of distance. So I'd rather run the laser at 100 and put distance between myself and the rock for safety's sake, and then if I need to, I can cut down it. So let's look. That rock is 100% garbage. That's 77. That's not bad. It's 89.
Scan complete. Scan initiated.
90.
Scan initiated.
That's according to the masses. 88. Inert.
Scan complete. Scan initiated.
96. So this rock right here is the next one I want to break up because they're all too big. So we need to get that guy going. You notice I'm not using near as much laser power this time. Okay, what is this one? 63.
Scan complete.
99,
Scan complete. Scan initiated.
72,
Scan initiated.
77.
Scan
So
complete. Scan initiated.
I think this is the good rock right here.
Extraction mode on. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan complete.
What is this one again? Yeah, that's pretty much garbage.
Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan complete. Scan initiated.
So we're very close to being full.
Scan initiated. Fracturing mode on. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan complete.
Okay.
Extraction mode on.
So let's find the best rock.
Scan initiated. Scan initiated.
Okay, so that's
Scan initiated.
obviously the best rock right here.
Scan complete.
And there we go. Now we're full. Cargo full. Out of mining mode.
Mining mode off.
Pull up our Moby map. Go back to hurl L2. Set our shields back to balanced.
Quantum travel engaged.
First cup of coffee finished. I think today's going to be a 2-cup morning. I used to drink a lot more coffee. And then I got down to 1 cup a day. And most of the time I'm 1 cup a day, but now that it's a little bit cooler, I find that I like sometimes 2 cups of coffee in the morning. And then I sometimes will make a cup of hot chocolate. And like I also have hot soup sometimes in the wintertime, where in the summertime, not as much. So I'm looking at my session timer. We're 48 minutes in. So it's going to be probably about 50 minutes before we get back to the station and we get down to the refining dock and we take this stuff and we get it into the refining machine. So maybe it's like 6,000 or 7,000 by the time we're done. You know, we might have made 6,000 or 7,000 credits. Definitely not as quick as picking up those boxes. And those people that go down and pick up there's little rocks on the planet, then they can make a whole lot more. They can make like 100,000 or something in a run. So I know there's ways to make more money. I'm just doing kind of a peaceful, easy, chill mining. I find this very peaceful. Now, one thing I've been noticing pretty repeatable is it'll drop me out of warp 70 miles away from the station, and I can do another warp that'll bring me into 20, but I have to make sure I'm not aligned with the station. I have to let my warp cool down, and I don't have it aligned at the station when it comes back online, or else for whatever reason it doesn't want to go. So I move myself off now. See, we're 74 kilometers. This should dump us out like 20. And I've learned which way the right side is on these. So the angled side is facing up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to align myself so that I'm flying by the station and not at it. And then we'll just wait for the ATC messages. And a ship like this, that thing that's sticking off on the right side about the 4 o'clock position, that's typically the pads that we get right there by where it joins to the wheel. Like right below where I'm aiming is typically the pad that gets assigned to us, pads 3 and 4. So we'll just wait now until we get into the armistice zone and we see the message about the ATC. We won't forget that we're on cruise control. That's an easy way to wreck if you forget. Easy way to wreck. Okay, armistice zone. ATC will be coming up next.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Very good. There it is. It's on the one past it. So about here I take my cruise control off so I don't forget. The other thing I'll do is I'll put my landing gear down now so I don't forget.
Landing gear down.
And the closer we get, the slower I'll go. That vertical bar on the left had been up there around full speed. I'm like at 3/4 now. All right, I'm pretty well lined up to the pad. Then we're lined up. We're losing our altitude. Slow down to about half around here. Now you can see that marker, little crosshair. That shows where we're going to end up. and I'm keeping it on top of the pad. So we're kind of crabbing in, but we're going to end up right over the pad. Slow down even more. We get over the pad, make sure we clear it. We got our landing gear down. Gonna bring the ship level. Maybe a little bit nose up, and then down on the altitude. Just sink right down here onto the pad. Pull up our refuel menu. Sometimes it helps if you're hovering over the pad. Okay, we're on the pad. Engine's off.
Have a pleasant stay.
And no repair, no refuel available. Which somebody said in chat, which is a good reason to server hop. Now you'll notice I left my shields on. The reason you leave your shields on when you're on a pad is because somebody could still come around and try to shoot you, try to ram into you. You want the protection of the shields on, but cutting your engines off will reduce noise. It'll reduce kicking up dust if you're on a planet. It'll reduce your fuel burn. You know, pretty much. It's a good thing to get in the habit of doing. Also, whenever you go to get out of a ship, if you're like on a planet somewhere, or you're doing an EVA, if you're not in an armistice zone, always good to have some sort of weapon in your hand. Right? Here we can't use it, but always good. Now you notice I didn't change my engines to vertical, because up here in space you really don't need the vertical takeoff. You don't really need to pivot the engines. So typically when the ship spawns that first time, they're pivoted for vertical takeoff. But if I'm operating out in space, I don't pivot them again. I just use the thrusters on the ship to pull me up off the pad and pull up the gear, and then I go. But if you're on the planet, then that's definitely helpful. And it does make a difference if your prospector is loaded with ore or not. So let's get in here. Let's call the elevator. Right here is where I couldn't last night. I would go to get in the elevator and there would be like an invisible wall that would keep me from getting in the elevator. It was like a bug. So once I landed on the pad, my ship's locked into the station here. So I would, because it's a bug, I would suicide right outside the door that I couldn't get through, wake up in my bunk, run down, and then go to the refinery. If there were knuckleheads around the station and you wanted to make sure your ship was safe, you could go there on to those kiosks and say claim your ship, to move it off the pad and into storage, and to keep it and its and the stuff inside of it safe. You could choose to do that, but it didn't. I didn't see any other ships come up on the radar, so I don't. You know, but sometimes when you're at Port Olisar or something, and there's people that could be griefing, you want to do that. The other thing some of the miners have done is they don't even request landing permission. They just put it over a pad and they let it get impounded, which happens pretty quick, and it impounds the ship, so then the ship is safe, and it dumps them inside, so it avoids that wait for the elevator, and then they just pay the fine out of their profits from the mining run. So that's an alternate strategy. Now I could use a different refining method to try to get this to finish around the same time as that other stuff. But I'm not.
Hi, good to have you back. Finding
This
everything
also
all
will
right?
show you if you have, so I'm going to say material location. Let me prospector, boom. So there's all that crap, that other crap that was there, the inert stuff. Well, we didn't do as good of a job about being particular. And we're going to choose what we're going to refine. The method we use.
See anything you like?
There we go. We've got another job. We're going to have 4 jobs going here.
Finding everything all right?
And now there's a scroll. So we could see all 4 of our work orders. So you get a scroll order. Okay. So what I discovered was that we saw the, what was it that wasn't working right? Oh, the refuel and repair. So what I think I want to do is I want a server hop. So in order to do that, we're going to say return exit to menu. Right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get up, I'm going to go, because if I go right back in, if I go right back into the game, I could end up on that same server, and I don't want to do that. So what I'll do is I will wait. I'm going to go start another cup of coffee, and then we'll get back on to the server, and hopefully we'll get on a server that works better. So let me start that second cup of coffee. Yes, my chair squeaks. Well, I would like a new gaming chair and a new computer desk. That would be really nice. But I don't know if I'm going to get one anytime soon. Okay. I should have remembered somebody's name on that server I was just on, so I would know if I got back on the same server or not. They don't tell us the server names. All we know is the region. So one way to force a server change is to pick a different region. But you also could have worse ping, which creates lag and desync and whatever. So I'm in the US. I tend to, unless I deliberately am server hopping, will tend to stay on the same server. Let's look. Do I have a helmet still? Yes, let's look and see who's on this server. Jack Sparrow. See a lot of people named Jack Sparrow. Wonder why. Only 23. It says 23 of 25. So this may be a newer server. This may be good. Let's just go to this is something I forgot to do. Was accept call to arms. Should always accept that, just in case you run across any bad guys and they want to give you grief. And if you kill them, you can get paid. So. Oh man. Okay. So yeah, it's been an hour and 3 minutes, as I expected. That's about how long it took us to go out and to get that. That's not going to be a particularly good yielding run. I can tell you right now. It had too much inert material in it. But what can I say? Pad 4. Not hangar 4. Pad 4. Usually when I join a server, I leave server chat up for a little while, just to get a feeling for what people are complaining about. If they're complaining about the server, if they're complaining about, griefers or knuckleheads doing stuff, whatever. Now you notice it respawned with the engines down. Now, one of the things that we didn't do last time was refuel, right? Because that seemed to be busted. Let's see if we can do that on this server. See, my quantum's at 86. It didn't let me refuel. I'm not going to run out of quantum anytime soon, but it's kind of a problem.
You are clear to launch.
Great. Clear to launch. Very good. Let's pull this joystick over. Just up. Okay, now we rotate the engines, and we won't rotate them back. So there's the space station.
Thank you, and please visit again.
You don't want to stay over a dock because you can get a ticket for blocking it. Okay. So I'm gonna pause right here. Go get that coffee off my coffee machine. Actually, yeah, I want to do that. I don't want to wait. Do it right now. So, if I had somebody in my organization, I would not necessarily be doing mining. I might be doing what they wanted to do today. But let's say they said, let's do mining. Well, there would be a couple choices. One would be they could get a prospector and we both could go mine together with two people and two prospectors. Another choice would be they would bring a fighter ship and they would protect me while I was mining. Or we could rent a mole and we could take a multiplayer mining ship out. So there would be options for doing that. And if they said, "Oh, I want to do a bunker mission. I want to do some whatever." Then we could do that. I'm not tied into mining by any means, like any particular profession. I do think it's like easier, depending upon what you're doing. Like if you want to do bounty hunting, you kind of have to have a good reputation. So you can't really mix parroting in with bounty hunting. So there's some reputation based stuff that kind of guide you. But as far as my organization is concerned, like we're not 100% lawful or 100% unlawful. We're not not 100% mining or 100% bounty hunting or 100% cargo or whatever. It really just depends on what people want to do that day and what makes sense. And there are a lot of things that are better done when you're not playing solo by yourself. And that's one thing I'm seeing already. I tend to play solo, and I want to broaden my opportunities in game by having people play with me. And in the evening, it's not a problem. There's some streamers that I follow, that I watch, that I've played with. But in the morning, it's been very. See, we're in between those two lines right now. It's been a little bit more of a rare thing. Okay.
Engines on.
So. People talking about a glitch, not being able to see ships. See that rock. That's pretty nice.
Extraction mode on. Fracturing mode on.
So we're at 100, and now we're going to just go closer. Oh, I'm going to put more power to the front shields. Go closer now until we see the power start to come up on the charge level. There we go. Get a little bit closer. There we go. It's coming up nicely. Get it up any higher from this distance. Let's move a little bit closer. That's a good one. Only 1.3% inert.
Scan initiated. Scan complete. Fracture mode on. Warning. Power critical. Scan initiated. Extraction mode on. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan complete.
That was a pretty good rock. We are almost completely full.
Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan initiated. 1 minute. 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 1 minute.
Alrighty. Back to the space station. Yeah, the solitude of mining. Sometimes, I mean, I find it pretty peaceful. Can be aggravating, but I like it. Mining these rocks, taking these rocks back, dropping them off. I can dig it.
Quantum travel complete.
Alrighty.
Quantum travel engaged. Quantum travel complete.
There are rocks, like right out here sometimes, that are mineable, right? But you run your risks of somebody that's coming to the station seeing you and deciding to attack you. Also, that was the ones that weren't that profitable. I had a bunch of crap, and of course it could be just chance and not proximity, but you know. So we're gonna land and take our go down to the refinery and turn this load in, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the stream because it's been 90 minutes. I'm ready to stop and get something to eat for breakfast. I'll probably come on later today off stream and play some more, do a couple more mining runs after I've caught up on email and other stuff. And when I join you, everybody, again next time, you know, we'll have some more fun in Star Citizen.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
I don't know if I'm going to collect my I don't know if I'm see. Notice I put my gear down, came off cruise control. It's habits. You get into like a habit, it keeps you from from forgetting. I don't know if I'm gonna tonight take the refined ore down. I'm inclined to do it. I don't like to let it sit still in a ship or in the refinery in case a patch rolls out or something happens. I want to go ahead and get that converted into into money as soon as I can, but just depends. Just all depends. See, we're not able to restock her. Something's going on.
Landing successful.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
And that's going to, over the long run, that's going to cause a problem. If you're doing things that shoot up bullets or whatever else, that definitely is going to create a problem. But you notice here, we've gone back and forth to the asteroid belt and only used up 73 quantum, so we could probably get another 4 trips back and forth. Oh, look at there. There's a Cutlass Black. Taking off from the pad next to us. So like I was saying, we could have been mining rocks close to the space station. That person probably would have seen us. Maybe they're naughty, maybe they're nice. You never know. In Star Citizen, like DayZ or like Rust, you should always assume they're naughty. Protect yourself at all times. If you want to just be able to mine and be left alone, and you think anybody that attacks you while you're mining is a bad person, they're griefing you, that's not really the way that it works. Right? I mean, it may ruin your day, but and they may get a crime stat for it, but that is not griefing. It's harshing your fun, but it's not griefing. If they follow you from server to server, well then yeah, maybe. If an organization breaks the terms of service and has a kill on site for all prospectors, then that technically is a TOS violation. If a organization comes up to you and says, pay us X to be able to be protected while you mine, or don't pay us and we'll attack you, well, that's a form of piracy. and there is piracy is a part of the game. So I know that. I know my risks by going out by myself mining. I accept the risk that somebody could come along and do that kind of stuff to me. Right? It's not going to happen every day, but to think it'll never happen would be a false assumption. And in the future, when there's more planets and more galaxies added, there'll be places where it'll be a higher danger level or a lower danger level, and the stuff that
Hey,
you
back
mine
again,
will
I
be
see.
more valuable or
Welcome.
less valuable. And so don't be surprised if
Anything you like?
the danger, is accordingly. Okay, so there we go. We've got a lot less crap in there. I'm going to set it up. If we go this, get me a quote. How long is this going to take? So it's kind of not... Okay, give me a quote. Now, this isn't working like it's supposed to, clearly. Okay, so the good news is our spaceship is locked in. Our spaceship is locked into this server. Right? Our stuff is here.
Finding everything all right?
Is it because the current capacity is 0? Is that why it's not letting me do it? I hadn't noticed that before. I think that's why. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to log off here. I'm going to call the stream, fix my breakfast. Then I'll log back in. I'll come back down here and try to start it again. So, thanks for watching. See you later. My name's Ed Wired. You can find me here on Twitch. And then these VODs end up on my YouTube stream about 24 hours later. Thanks for watching.